Hey everybody, Kyle from KyleTech here, live from the sunroom. So before we talk about this obvious box that's in front of me, I will say that I recorded I have an iOS 17 video cooking. Um, I think to make it more unique and different than what's been done already. Once they released the second build of the public beta, they just released the first build of the public beta. I think they're on like developer beta 3-ish. Um, once that second public beta comes out, I'm going to install it on my iPhone 14 Pro Max, and then I'll run with it, and then I'll give my talk about new things it added and my takes. So that's awesome. So, anyways, just wanted to quickly mention that. So yeah, Pixel Fold. We have the Pixel Fold. This is just the top of the box because we already know it's in the box. And here's the device in all its glory. So let's do this really quickly. So we have an Obsidian 512 gigabyte storage version of it. So here we are. We're going to open it really quickly to show you this. I'm not opening it the full way for effect, but so there's the device. Now let's talk about it. We already essentially know the specs here. It's a Tensor G2. It's a 5.8 inch screen on the outside with a 7.6 inch screen on the inside. We have 12 gigabytes of RAM. Again, you can either do 256 or 512 gigabytes for storage. Battery life is about 4,800 milliamp hours. We're just going to go through this very, very, very quickly. So there's a 9.5 megapixel front camera on the cover display. There's a selfie camera also on when you unfold it, which is 8 megapixels. And then let's see, what are our rear cameras? See if I can find them super quickly. The rear cameras are obviously much better. I think it's I don't want to see if I can't find it quickly. I'm not gonna mess around with it too much. Okay, sorry about that. So 48 megapixels main shooter. We have a 10.8 megapixel ultra wide, and then we have the telephoto with 5x optical zoom. That was a little awkward for a second, so sorry about that. Fingerprint sensor, power button. We'll just hold these two up. So if you see this is, they feel like they're about the same. If you look, they're about the same thickness, folded versus a Galaxy S23 Ultra. So, we got Android 13 cooking on this. The Android 14 beta is out. So, that was a very quick spec run through with one little awkward moment. So let's talk about this phone a little bit. Like, I'm just going to say, like, why I was hesitant to get it. And we can talk about some of the choices Google made with this. Maybe we'll start with that. Because I don't have a Z Fold 4 anymore. I exchanged it to get my S23 Ultra. So, unfortunately, I don't have a great comparison to hold up. But it's very it's very obvious. Google opted to go with kind of this more short and squat design for the cover display, and then it looks more like a landscape orientation, and we don't need to mention the bezels when you unfold it. Again, it's an interesting choice from Google, but this isn't necessarily revolutionary. Oppo did it with their Find N2. And I think like that's because I don't know if they like where they got the feedback from. I mean, people, Samsung users definitely had feedback some ways about it, and maybe Huawei or Honor or other folding brands, that the taller and narrower display it's really annoying to use, right? And also I'll just say, like, you see this folds flat. There isn't a gap there with Samsung's other foldables. So threw that in there. But yeah, this is very easy to use when it's unfolded. I had to think about that. Well, it is, but it's also easy to use when it's folded. And I think like for Google, that was the point. And I think Samsung will take, everyone's thinking that like next year, because we've already seen leaks for the Z Fold 5, which we'll do a video on my thoughts, especially when it's revealed. This is much easier to type on. And it feels more like, again, a Z Fold or S23 Ultra, an iPhone, where you can hold and type, and it's not awkward. And also, when you unfold it, the way they split the keyboard, it's easy to operate with your thumbs. So, that's one choice Google made. The other main choices, I would say, are the bezels on the inside. Google, especially in a phone paradigm where we're moving away from the bezels. We like the rounded corners. We like the, very bezel-less display. And to be fair, so we'll just say the front screen. There's some bezels. It's slightly more than the Z Fold series. I guess it would have been nice if Google filled the front panel up more. But it's not, it's a foldable phone. There will always be some borders when it's folded. So it's not egregious. It's not. Just doing a quick comparison. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm just thinking it's not better or worse than, say, when it's folded than, like, say, your Galaxy S23 Ultra. You see there's, like, a bit of a gap here. And for the Pixel Fold, it's very similar. So we'll do this. Whoops. I have to get used to the new power button. So if you see on this side, it's a little bit of a gap there. Yeah, not too much. Reminiscent of, again, with the S23 Ultra. So it's not bad. With the interior display, the bezels, Google claims it reinforces the hinge. And I haven't played around with it that much, but in my early playings around with it, it's pretty good. Like, it's pretty good. It gives your thumbs a natural place to hang out when you're not typing. And then, like, the more you use it, the less noticeable it is. And also, as we'll say before, this is Google's first take at this. Hopefully, they will learn and iterate along with the rest of the foldables market. So, very, very quick thoughts about Google's design choices. To sum it up, they're not bad. They're interesting. Why was I hesitant to get this? So I like the Pixel software. I do think it's the best iteration of Android software. And also I like foldables because it's a nice change from this, candy bar smartphone paradigm that we know. There's more natural multitasking. The whole, like, making selfies easier using the best cameras on your device, that's also cool. And as Google showed in a future update, you'll be able to unfold the phone and have Translate show up on your cover display while you're listening and getting the translation and typing what you want to say on the internal display. So it'll help with communication with people. Maybe you're only a beginner in Spanish or French, and you're going to Spain, a Spanish-speaking country, or France, or or Japan, or another country like that, or China. So there are multiple applications for the multitasking and for utilizing multiple displays at once that I think the foldable market has that. So you might be asking, well, you just spent like a couple minutes talking about why you like pixels and why you like folds, so why were you hesitant? Well, I'm about to tell you. So on the one hand, Google is more known for its software than its hardware. That's, every Pixel release and even the Nexus phones. Well, yeah, some Nexus phones because like Google used manufacturing partners like LG and then Huawei and then Samsung. So we don't want to go on a tangent there. Google is more of a software company than a hardware company. So you take that, you take the fact that foldable phones are hard to make and they're more fragile hardware than your regular smartphone, right? And then you just like think I'm gonna say and this is like a first-ish generation product. What do I mean by that? So I'll interject that in quickly. So this is the first folding phone that Google has released to the market. So by that definition, this can be called the first generation product. But there have been this year included, at least 5 years of foldables from Samsung, right? This also is Google claims there were internal prototypes that were rejected. So this is not Google's first complete iteration in a folding phone. So it's a first-ish generation product. But again, Google isn't a hardware company. So there are definitely some trepidations there. If you go to like the Pixel Fold subreddit, you can see like usually it's not that many people complaining about it, but then so like my battery's bad, whatever, and then you have the people say, well, maybe you got unlucky. I also did not own a Pixel 7 Pro, so I don't know about the G2 Tensor lottery where a portion of them claimed they had a great experience and another portion claimed they had a bad experience. I had a pretty okay experience on my Pixel 6 Pro, so the first generation of Tensor wasn't bad. I'm sure this is not terrible either. In a couple of years, they're switching to using the same company, TSMC, that Apple uses for their chips, so maybe that'll improve. But I am excited to use this. Also, this is around the time where I get like super smartphone ADHD, where I'm waiting for Google, Apple to release the next iPhone and iOS version, and there's a Samsung release coming up. So I think there are a lot of factors that went into play for me choosing to get this. But also, I'll add one more thing because I don't want to keep this like a long video. Like Jerry Rig Everything, great YouTuber. He likes to beat up phones. He beat up this phone and he said this failed the bending test because folded it and he bent it past the 180 degrees and the hinge did not bend. So that claim of the strongest folding hinge is correct, but it broke and he said it failed. But at the same time, I'm never going to bend my phone like that. So in a couple days, I'm getting a case. In a couple days, I'm getting a screen protector. I'm going to rock it. I'm excited to try it out. It's something new from Google. Foldables are still something new. So we'll see how it evolves with the software experience and as they iterate. And maybe if this goes well and then the next version is even better, maybe instead of Samsung folding people, maybe we become Google folding people until Apple decides to release their phone. I think there's any last things I want to say about this. I don't know. Got to get into it. I am very excited to use it. I do think the software experience, because of Google's expertise, will get better. Thanks for watching. Again, please like, subscribe. You can let us know in the comments. And see you in the next one. And stay folding. Bye.